Many of you will agree with me that there's nothing quite like being able to pick your very own fresh produce from your own edible garden. And this garden behind me has got all the necessary ingredients to feed those young bodies and minds of our future generation. Because let's be honest, we all know that a full stomach equals a star student.
Spinach, fresh herbs and tomatoes are just some of the produce that has been lovingly nurtured by Expresso's very own garden guru, Ben Getz.
And I see things here that you wouldn't normally find in a garden. The thatch, the tiles.
You've really identified some of the key elements of the garden. We really wanted to use upcycled materials. That's part of the educational process for the learners, but also taking care of the environment. So the two upcycled materials in the garden are the terracotta roof tiles, which we've used to create a raised bed. And the other element which you pointed out is the thatch. And this is thatch which came off somebody's roof and would otherwise have landed up in the dump.
The lush edible garden will feed the learners at Observatory Primary and was made possible by Woolies customers who have been swiping their MySchool cards.
MySchool has been partnering with Woolworths to raise funds for schools and charities all over South Africa for more than 17 years. So we were really committed to education, but we also understand that education is about more than just learning facts and figures. And by creating something like this beautiful garden, it creates an opportunity for kids to learn from Mother Nature.
350 learners are fed daily by the Peninsula Feeding Scheme, and for some, this is the only meal they'll receive each day.
When a child has got a full tummy with good, healthy food, they will concentrate better, they will learn better. We're trying to encourage them also to take what we're teaching them here back to their homes and growing their own vegetables at home.
After months and months of patiently waiting, finally the day has arrived where the Observatory Junior Primary School will be able to pick the first produce from their very own edible garden. And you best believe there's a serious buzz of excitement going around today.
With such beautiful produce to work with, foodies Loubie, Rusch and Ishay Govender didn't have to look far for tasty meal ideas to share with the learners and teachers.
These youngsters are used to the standard staples, your pulches, your samp, your rice, but now we have the produce from the garden. You brought along a couple of extra spices as well. How are we going to use these staples and turn them into delicious, nutritious dishes?
So we take the staples that we have and we give them a little bit of a fresh twist, and we make sure that the food is still simple. So I'll give you an example. We have rice here and brown lentils as well, but what I've done is I've added some onions and some green beans from the garden. I've added some spices as well. So this becomes a Middle Eastern comfort food dish called Magxia.
Wow.
Comfort food, right? And secondly, let's have a look at the herbs in the garden. So we've created a very fresh herby salad. It's a tabular salad. We're using coriander, parsley and mint. The kids, they could use rice at the school, but I've used couscous, feta and some lemon zest. I think these are some really simple ideas that they could execute in the kitchen.
Oh, Loubie, all these looks absolutely fantastic, and I think you're the perfect person to ask this because when it comes to foraging, you're quite adventurous. When it comes to food wastage, what are your tips to make sure that none of the fresh produce from the garden go to waste? Because it is a huge problem in South Africa, if not a global problem as well.
One of the important things is to learn that there are parts of plants that are edible that mostly people don't think are. So, for example, spinach stems, most people would actually cut the green bit away and turf the stem. And beetroot, they would take the bulb, but they'd throw the stems and the leaves away. So I've showcased today here two recipes which include the stems and the leaves. The spinach bake has the stems in them, and the beetroot salad has the stems and the leaves in them.
No Harvest Festival is complete without a harvest table groaning with delicious food. And learners relished the chance to tuck into the food they had helped to prepare and grow.
It tastes delicious. It's very nice. And I like the way it is. So the way they cooked it.
And I saw that the spinach roots they used, yeah, it's very delicious.
My favorite food today was the pudding and the beetroot. The pudding, it's because it had that sour part of the berry, and the beetroot, I liked it because it had that spinach, and it was a new recipe that I've never seen before.
For us to be healthy, eat ourselves. Just because when you eat junk food, your body won't be healthy as a person should be healthy.
Thanks to MySchool and Woolworths working with the community to feed the bellies and minds of these learners, the garden isn't the only thing that will flourish here at Observatory Primary.